So this is how a multi-tenant architecture looks like, where you have a single database, or if not a single database, you have multiple databases, but in the same database itself you have data of the multiple customers. So in multi-tenant, this tenant means the customers. So each customer you can consider them as a tenant. So suppose that you have built an SaaS application and there are multiple users, there are multiple enterprise users, like Google is using your application, Microsoft is using your application. So these companies are your tenant. And in multi-tenant architecture, within the same database itself, you have data from multiple tenants. That means you have data from multiple companies, which are Facebook, Google. So you can see the same database itself is being used across multiple companies. So the multiple companies data exists in the same database. And how do we differentiate like which user belongs to which tenant is by using tenant ID. So for each of the tenant, we have something called a tenant ID. And then any users makes any request, we first try to understand what is the tenant ID that the users belong to, and then we perform the query, and in that query we always use the tenant ID so that we can always maintain the data isolation, and we ensure that one tenant user should not be able to view or modify data from another tenant. So that's how multi-tenant architecture work, and in the table you store the tenant ID so that you can maintain the data isolation across multiple tenants. So I've just posted a full video explaining how does the multi-tenant architecture work in my YouTube channel. You can check that video. Thank you.